So this is somebody that I've been wanting to have on the show for a very long time. I have been following her for, let's see, my daughter is almost 30, so at least 30 years. So she's been in the game for a minute, okay? Debrena Jackson Gandy. I love her. So her first book, I told her All the Joy You Can Stand up into the new book. But we're going to talk about how to get out there, get known, because this is the power of consistency. She's not an overnight success. She didn't get famous on TikTok. Matter of fact, social media wasn't even around when when we first met. But she's been on international stages. She's done retreats. She's been in Oprah.com, Oprah's Magazine, Essence, Ebony, Black Enterprise. Obviously, she's a Black woman. But so consistent and still, but evolving, not just staying the same, but evolving. So we're going to dig into her background, like what keeps her going, and really uh, learn about how she leverages some of the relationships, because that's one of the things she talks about, that helps her keep going and keep momentum and help getting her name out there and staying relevant. That part. Okay. And staying relevant. So I'm going to bring her up right after this.
Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey there, Debrena. Oh my God. It is so good to see you. It is so Sacred Principles. I have that one too. I think that was one I was telling you about. I gifted as well. That one there. Yes, that one is really, really good. That was during the COVID. I told you I was gifting books during COVID. That was one as well. But let me tell you. So over the last 2 decades plus, you've been at this, writing and speaking, before TikTok, before Substack, before Facebook, doing the thing. So, and I want to say you've met Susan Taylor, you've been on stage with Sheryl Lee Ralph, you know everybody, right? You know all of these people, but you keep the relationship intact, and you can basically pick up the phone when you have something going on. You have what they call relationship currency, because it's reciprocal. So with that, you have been in all from CNN to C-SPAN. Like, so what else is there left for you to do in terms of getting on media? What's the next big thing that you want to do? I mean, you have the whole trail of everything.
Pam, with all the things you have said, and I'm so grateful, I'm just getting started.
I know.
Just getting started. Now, what I mean by that is you can look at the things that I've been able to do, and I'm very grateful that I have had such amazing opportunities and cross paths with so many amazing people and touched so many lives. But that is operating out of 11 of 20 cylinders. To much whom is given, much is required. And so this is really just getting started. And I haven't even really, busted all the way out with, all of the things I want to do around Black love relationships. I've been doing my awesome programs and courses around Black love called Love Academy. And we got over 75 new Black love marriages from graduates of my work. But that's not even me being a dating coach. That's me teaching a transformational way to enter into love relationships. So there's still all kinds of upside for that, with some big rooms filled with brothers and sisters doing some healing work. Oh, there's still so much I have not yet done. Another book to write, 2 more books.
Books.
But I'm just getting started, girl.
How many have you written so far?
3.
So far, you've written 3.
Sacred Parenting Principles, and then All the Joy You Can Stand, which I think said you were giving away a lot during COVID. And then
I know, and it was my hardcover one too. Listen, it was my hardcover one too.
Ooh. No. You really love them.
I did, but it was very cool because I was like, they need some joy. We all needed joy, but I was like, that book blessed me, and it wasn't even during COVID. So yeah, but one of the things too, go back to AA African American women on tour. That I was telling you, that's where it all got started. And the people who were on those panel, Maya Angelou, all those kind of things. How did you get involved in that? I know you're on the West Coast,
Right.
but how did you get involved in that? Because you were Ayanna Vazant. I mean, you were stepping into some high cotton, as they would say.
And, as a matter of fact, Iyanla, for Sacred Pampering Principles, the paperback book, she has her quote at the top as an endorsement of the book. And it was because I had a chance to physically meet her through the African American Women on Tour days. And my sister, interestingly enough, was her executive assistant for a few years. So between the conference and my sister working with her, because my sister graduated from Howard, Iyanla's Intervisions Institute is right there in the DMV area, kind of closer to Baltimore or Silver Spring. And so it was a convergence of factors that allowed that to happen. But it's interesting. It actually started on the West Coast. Remember when it launched in San Diego?
Yeah, I think Maria was in San Diego.
Yes.
Maria died. Yeah.
Lived in San Diego. She partnered with another fabulous woman, and they started African American Women's Conference. It wasn't even on tour yet. And I started hearing about it since I'm on the same coast, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, there's an amazing Black Women's Conference going on in San Diego, and Susan L. Taylor speaking. I'm like, what?
Game changing. Yeah.
So then they were in Oakland, 1992. Okay. And it started in 1990 in San Diego. So 1992, there were some ladies from the Seattle, Tacoma area that were going. And I said, let me go down and check out the conference just to see what it's about, see who's there. And I went as a participant, but I went to do research.
Okay.
What I did is I said, I want to be a speaker in this conference.
Yes.
And I got the brochures, right? Because they had all these different tracks and,
it was amazing.
40, right? 30, 40 workshops. And I looked at what was missing.
Yes.
And what was missing was conversation about Black love relationships. Now, I had the self-published version of Sacred Pampering Principles. It wasn't even national yet, right? HarperCollins had not even picked it up, none of that. But instead of me talking about sacred pampering, which you would think, I was looking at where's the gap, because I want to submit a proposal that will get approved. And of course it did. And that was my in.
Because there was no one talking about that during that time. That is so important. That is so important. Okay. And I want to say, so a lot of times when you have a book, you bet on yourself, which is what you did. Sacred Pampering Principles, you bet on yourself. You published it first, and then it got picked up.
Yes.
That is important for people to understand, because a lot of people think like, well, I'm waiting for my book to get picked up by Simon Schuster, whatever, HarperCollins, Random House, and it may not happen. So bet on yourself, get out there and go in the trenches. Okay, then keep going.
That's really important, because it's about bet on yourself, but you also have to show that without, and Random House is one of the big 8. That's one of my publishers. HarperCollins, they want to see that even without them, what are you able to do in terms of sales?
Yes.
And so that self-published journey was an opportunity to show, here's what I can do without you. What could we do together? Right.
Yes.
And so it was still in its self-published, 75-page format at the time I applied to be a presenter for African American Women on Tour. And people probably forgot that I started off in the love relationships slot, and that's what got me in. And then it from there. Then I was able to come back again and be asked to do a workshop again. Then I was asked to do a love relationships forum special session. And so then women would leave my events, talk about PR, and they go, oh my God, this was so good. I said, I need you to let the producers know.
There you go.
Here's what I need you to do. I need you to send an email to Maria Dowd and let her know how much you enjoyed our session. Well, after being with them in several cities, she started to get these emails from women. And in those days, email wasn't even that hot yet. So they had to stop her in the hallway and say, oh my gosh, this chick, Debrena Jackson Gandy, oh my gosh, her session was so good. Well, over time, that was 92. And then I got picked up to do all of her on tour cities once they started going to, New York and St. Louis and DC.
Mm-hmm.
And so then my eye was set on, I want to be a keynote. I
Yeah.
was in the audience watching Susan L. Taylor and watching Alice Walker and watching Lynn Whitfield and watching Gladys and watching Iyanla. I said, and Maya, and I said, I want to be on the keynote stage.
That's saying those affirmations. You practice what you preach. There you go. There you go.
Myself, I'm vision led. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing myself on the stage, and then boots on the ground was being sure women continued to go to Maria, but the language from she's so great, you need to have her at all your conferences, to she's so great, you need to have her be a keynote.
That is it.
That happened in 2000.
That's when I met you.
I remember where I was. I remember where I was standing. Everything when that call came in.
Oh my God.
And so that's how that happened. That evolution from a participant to a workshop breakout session presenter to one of the keynotes. To one of the keynotes. Yes.
And part of that is showing up. I always say that you just got to show up. Show up with intention. Show up with a spirit to give. What is missing? What can I add? What is the value of these women here? And just so that people will know, that conference was like a game changer for so many people over the years. I want to say it was a pre to Women Thou Are Loose. It was a pre before Essence Fest. It was like the vision of all of the big women conferences that we know now.
And we got
thousands
through that, remember, because that was a new name. She had Tapping the Power Within, but Acts of Faith wasn't even out quite yet. Value in the Valley wasn't even out yet. So that conference was like the fertile soil from which those books arose. And when Iyanla was first on Oprah's show, it came from, I think, a woman from one of the AWOC conferences saying, hey, have you read this book by this woman, Iyanla? And that's how she got chosen for a book club discussion on Oprah's show. And then she became a recurring subject matter expert. So there's a lot, like you said, a lot that had its birth in those conferences.
And it's about showing up. And so the thing with you is that you then went on and leveraged a lot of the media hits that you were getting. So what was the first? I always tell this, being a publicist, I love seeing people getting media, but it's not always, I'm gonna tell you, it's not always, I got a press release, I'm gonna send it to the media and they're gonna pick it up. It is always something synchronistic about what happens with that big media hit. So what was like the one where you saw like Ebony picked you up, or what was the story behind it? Because sometimes it's who you know and who is talking about you in the rooms that you're not in. So how did some of them happen? How does C-SPAN happen? Because that's a whole nother thing, but we can go into.
Well, the concentrated media and national, regional, and local media that I experienced was really around book tours. That initial media. And remember, I come from that era right after Terry McMillan and the smash success of Waiting to Exhale.
Yeah.
She hadn't even done Stella Got Her Groove Back. So now all the national Big 8 publishers were like, what? Black people read? Black women have been reading more books per capita than any other segment in America, but they just realized it when they saw the sales and her book on the New York Times bestseller list. Terry opened the gate to a second Black literary renaissance, right? We had the Harlem Renaissance in the 1913, 1925. And she opened the door to a second literary Black renaissance. Now, that was in the day when, as an author, and when you got a national book deal and a publisher paid you for the right to market your book and gave you an advance, they sent you on a book tour. They paid for you to stay in the hotels. They paid for your media escort. And then they had a publicist they assigned to you. that
Mhm.
booked all of your media. So for 2 weeks, when I was on tour with Sacred Pampering and All the Joy, I would start like at 7 in the morning on somebody's morning radio show. And every hour on the hour, they would have media booked or a book appearance at a Barnes and Noble or an independent bookstore.
Independent black bookstore.
Right.
Mhm.
Still had them back in those days. And they're making a slow return, but there was a whole network of independent bookstores. And so in that 2-week period around Sacred Pampering Principles, that's when CNN happened. And
Mhm.
CNN Live happened, and Good Day New York, and In
Yep.
Style Magazine, and what's that popular radio show? Hot 97, I think. Hot 97 out of
Tom
Atlanta.
Joyner? Was it
What is
Tom Joyner? Tom Joyner or
it on? Hot,
Frank Ski?
hot. I'm trying to remember the number. Hot 97, Hot 95. They have a really popular, but that and so at that time, Better Homes and Gardens had a TV show out of New York that I was also on. It's
Wow.
discontinued since, but that concentration of media was because of the National Book Tour and the literary environment that still treated authors in those days like a
Like
pseudo
celebrity. Yeah.
celebrity. And
Mhm.
so I can't say that, oh, it was all my own doing, but getting into Essence was. Susan L. Taylor had come out here to Seattle for an event that Nordstrom's hosted.
Okay.
And she knew me from African American Women on Tour, so
Yep.
first name basis, Susan, Debrena. And so I have a book. I have a book that I think would work great for Essence
Which
and
one was that?
Sacred
That was
Pamper
that
Principles.
was Sacred Pamper. Okay. Mhm.
And my goal was for my nationally published book, the nationally published version of it, to be in Essence magazine the same month it came out nationally, which was February 1997.
Oh
Now,
my God.
normally, you'd go up through, the ranks and maybe get it to the book editor. But in those days, email was not a thing yet. And I said, I'm going to FedEx a copy, galley copy. It was a galley copy.
Okay, so it was an advanced reader copy. Mhm.
Advanced reader copy of Sacred Pampering Principles with a really compelling letter. And I'm going to FedEx it directly to Susan L. Taylor in New York. Because
Mhm.
when you get a FedEx with your name on it, you or your assistant opens it.
Has to sign it.
It
Sign
gets
it.
open. It doesn't sit there. So she opened it. She read the letter, and she delegated it to. Susan was editor in chief at the time, so she delegated it to an associate editor, Claire McIntosh.
Yes. Claire's now with
Right?
AARP. She's with AARP now.
Oh, is she okay? Oh my goodness! And that is exactly, they read the galley copy and said, you're right, this really would resonate with our readers. And they
Mhm.
had it in the February 1997 issue.
Oh my God. This is the vision that I'm talking about that you walk in. It is the truth. It is the
So
truth.
that part I did, but all that other, radio and, the
Yeah.
regional and national back then, that was a result of the publicity, my publicist, that my
The
publisher.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but it builds. It builds, and so when you
absolutely.
have all of those receipts, you put it in your media kit, and so then when you show it, no media wants to be the first person to have you on. You always like, okay, you need the experience before you get the job, but the job says you got to get the experience. It's like, which one comes first? So somebody has to take a chance on you first. So once you had all of that, they know that you can, you've been in all these other publications. So of course we're going to have you in ours. And then the thing I want people to understand, media begets media. So once you're in Essence, then all the other maybe African American radio stations, African American newspapers, Black Enterprise, Ebony, all those kind of things happen. And you said Claire and McIntosh, she was at Essence at the time. Yeah, I think she was assistant. So now she's at AARP and she's over the Sisters
Oh,
newsletter.
okay.
Yes. So you gotta call her. You gotta call her. Yeah, you gotta call her. So that's your buddy. She's so good. She's so good. I keep in touch with her. I meant that age of the AARP. So I guess I'm reading it as well as liking what she's doing. so
You're looking good, girl.
yeah.
I'm
So,
gonna know.
so that's how I want to tell people, when you have media contact, people in the media move. They don't stay there forever. So keep in touch with all your media contacts because they remove. And even, and I tell a lot of my clients that you may say, well, why do I have to be on that podcast, or why do I have to be on that radio station? That's a small radio station. You never know. That person will grow up and then next be the producer for Tamron Hall. Okay. And you were trying to think, other people were trying to think like, well, that's just so small. I want to go big. You start with who I put in front of you. Do well here, treat them well, keep in touch with them. They have other friends. They
Yes.
may say, they were a really good interview. You need to have them on their show. They may tell,
Yes.
someone else that this is a person you need to have. Or they talk back and forth and say, hey, they were really, really good. I had them on my show. You should have them on their show. They do talk. And the other thing, have you ever gone to I love going to Black conferences, but NABJ, National Association of Black Journalists conferences. So that's always a good one to go to as well. I don't think they've ever had them in the West Coast. I'm trying to think if they've ever been on not the national conference. I can't remember recently.
One, because I think they may have had a literary cafe.
They do. They do.
I was part of their literary cafe, which used to be a really popular feature of Black conferences, at least in the 90s and the early 2000s,
Yes.
is the literary cafe. So yes, I have been there, but for that specifically.
Adrian May says, "What up, Doe? Good evening." She's from Detroit, so that's that little thing that we say in Detroit. The literary cafe, they have it. You have to be selected. So you have to be selected because there's only so many, and it's all the Black journalists from Black media, from general market media, all over, and they have you in this kind of like a little space, but you can meet, from Roland Martin to Tamron Hall to Donnie Simpson to whoever at the NABJ. This year it's going to be in Atlanta. So again, if you kind of like the way you think or the way you are, it's like if I'm in Atlanta, maybe I'll go to the conference just to check it out, maybe just to be there and say, hey, I want to see what's going on here. Or to me, you can go as an associate member and you can pay to go. But over the 2 or 3 days there, I think Sunday did end up with a gospel thing. For the 2 or 3 days, meet as many media people as you can. You don't have to stalk them and say, here's my book and give it to them, but just kind of get the lay of the land so you can say, okay, then next year I want to be in the literary. And then maybe next year I'll be on the panel. And then the next year I'll be a keynote. Those are the kind of things. Another year I'll be an award winner. I mean, so those are the things too. NABJ is a good conference, National Association of Black Journalists conference in Atlanta. So I tell people to go to things like that. So,
well, that's what I did with African American Women on Tour. I just went as a participant and to do research.
Yeah.
That first year. But going back to what you said about, you may start small and don't treat it smallly. Made up a new word. Because I was, after my book was in Essence, I kept in touch with Claire. And then I had a retreat, my Sharing, Healing, and Renewal first retreat I ever did. And they had a calendar section back in that day in the very front of Essence. And so then when I submitted, for 3 sentences about my retreat, it was in Essence magazine. And then I kept in touch. And then I said, I'd love to write a feature article for you all. And I did my first feature article. And when you're writing an article, there's a deadline and a word count. So just because you got asked to do it, you might be difficult to work with. Oh, she submitted it 4 days late. She submitted it. We had to edit it down. It wasn't already edited. So I had to do a good job, right? With that first feature article opportunity. It went very, very well. And then they asked me to do another one and it went very, very well. And then they asked me to do another one. It went very, very well. And then here comes this new magazine that this most popular talk show host in the history of TV is deciding to launch. And they grabbed Michelle Buford from the editorial staff of Essence to work on this new magazine. Well, Michelle Buford was one of the people I interacted with at
Yeah.
Essence. And who does she call to say, Debrena, I thought of you. There's a new magazine Oprah is launching. We don't even have the name yet. That's how soon it is. That's how fresh it is. But I'm lining up content. And it's going to come out August of 2000. And this was like January.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thrilled over the moon. Oh my goodness. I'm going to
Yeah.
be Oprah's, whatever it's going to be
And
called.
we don't, yeah. And we don't even know how big it is at that point, but it didn't matter.
We did not know. And so it started, though, with my book, Being in Essence, Cultivating the Relationship. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the 2-page spread, blah, 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 blah. Then my very 3 lines about my retreat being in there. And then doing a good job on those 3 articles and being memorable. So when Michelle went to O,
yes,
she's thinking of me.
That is
so amazing. And so that, you know, was the result of cultivating a thing and showing up strongly wherever you had a chance to start, right? And it parlayed. So
I love that. Being on deadline, having the right word count is important. You are easy to
whatever their criteria is, meet it.
That's the same thing with publishers. You want to meet their deadline. You want to have the right word count. You want to be easy to work with. You don't want to be fussing with them back and forth about your edits or your cover. I love your covers too, by the way. They are works of art. Do you now, in terms of that, how much did you play in terms of your covers for your books?
Well, you know, because I was in a lot of literary cafes and also in a lot of panels at Black writing conferences, one of the things I would hear before my book came out nationally, it was still self-published, and I went to the Black Writers Conference in the big McCormick Hall in Chicago. And the thing I kept hearing, you know, from Eric Jerome Dickey, from Elin Harris, you know, is that their cover art, they often were not happy with. And their publisher, when you buy someone's book and you pay for the right to market it, you are also paying for someone to design the cover. And I kept hearing discontent from Black authors about their cover. And I said, when I have a national book contract, I am going to negotiate what I went on to find out is called consultative approval on the cover. And I got it for Sacred Pampering Principles, and even further, and was able to choose a Black artist that HarperCollins paid for her artwork. Now they have an internal art department. Right. Covers. They paid a Black artist for the use of their art for my cover. That is unheard for a first-time author. Then for all the joy and I gave them examples of what I wanted and the tone of purple it needed to be. It couldn't be lavender. It needed to be royal purple because the frequency would catch the eyes of Black women. It did. So I had consultative approval on this. They had to send this over to me and I had to sign off. Unheard of. And then same thing for the Love Lies is I had consultative approval. They definitely were not used to that. I remember my literary agent, Ayama and I had the same literary agent for my first 2 books. And then Denise Stinson, moved into a different lane of work, and I had to get a new literary agent. And I asked if she would include consultative approval for the book cover. She goes, "Oh, I've never had an author ask for that, and I've never had an author get it." And I said, but you're representing me. So would you please make that request on my behalf? Well, okay, but I've never had an author get a yes on that. Well, what do you think Debrena got? Debrena got a yes. Yes. So thank you for saying you like my covers. I've heard, especially with this book, people saying literally at Walmart or a Target or a bookstore, it literally jumped out at them on the shelf because I know it was the frequency of the colors.
It
So
is.
I'm glad I kept my hands in that pot because my
Yes.
attitude was this book baby has my chromosome and your chromosome, and together we create it. You don't have
Mhm.
more weight or excuse
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
validity than I do. We're in partnership.
Mhm. And that is it. And that is the thing that I like, and you're consistent. So from writing and speaking, it's your gift, but you have over time uh work with social media, doing retreats, doing courses, all the things I guess you would say that you could get your message out. You're using, and it's going further and further. So, what is next for Debrena? What's the next big thing that and you also have a community. I forgot about that as well. So, kind of tell us. I'm gonna
Again,
put your website too, Debrena. I'm sorry. What's the website you want me to put here?
I only have one $1,000,000mentor dot
Million Dollar Mentor. Yes,
$1,000,000mentor.net.
I love that. I love
The
that.
next big thing, oh my goodness. Well, I just last Wednesday got done with my 8-week Black business cohort, a virtual cohort that we offer for the second time. Sold out once again with Black business owners from all over the country. And here in the Seattle Tacoma area, where my brother, comedian and actor Nate Jackson, owns the Super Funny Comedy Club, the largest Black owned comedy club in America. And my husband and I are part owners. And
Oh,
we had a big celebration dinner for cohort members. Some flew in from out of town. We had a local superstar singer be our entertainment. So that was a big deal.
mhm.
Sponsored by Banner Bank. It was wonderful. They were so impressed with the whole evening. They said, "We're sponsoring you next year and we're upping the money." I said, "How?"
I love it. You're taking applications for the next cohort. They can go to milliondollarmentor.net and get on the wait list.
The wait list, right? It's not
Okay.
until next March, and we just got done. It's March, April. It's a 2 month,
Right.
but they can get on the
Mhm.
wait list because it's going to
Okay.
be sold out again. But the next big thing, which actually gets announced in just 24 hours, I'm doing my first ever. It's called the Juicy Woman Breakthrough Weekend.
Mhm. Mhm.
Emphasis
That's
is
in
on
September.
breakthrough, and the emphasis is on healing. And what's different this year is this is a new era, the breakthrough weekend. And it usually has been sold out by my students, people who have done courses and programs with me. And now
Mm.
this time, it's in September in Arizona, I'm opening up to women who may have not done one of my popular cohort courses or programs. So as long
Mhm.
as you're a ready woman, you can sign up. So that's going to be in September in Tempe, Arizona, which is right in
Mhm.
the Phoenix, Arizona
Mm.
area.
Okay.
It's already on path to be sold out, and it doesn't even go out to the world until 24 hours from now. So
Wow.
that's the next big thing.
They could
Um,
go to Million Dollar Mentor, get information on that. Dot
yeah,
net. That
it will be on that homepage right when they also,
okay.
when they go to my website, I have a really generous gift package in exchange for us staying connected. So
Mhm.
it's not
Of
just one,
course.
not
Yeah.
just two gifts. It's 3 gifts that they get for staying connected and saying, "Here's my email address, Debrena, so we can stay in touch." And in turn, they get the Sacred Self-Caring Woman's Toolkit.
Ah.
Um, so that is something that I recommend everybody go and get because it's such a generous e-gift package. But yes, they also can access some of my audio programs. They can go to my Amazon portal through the store and get my books. My new designer perfume. Did you hear about Divine?
No, no.
Lord,
I'm so stuck on juicy. I want you to explain where the word juicy came from, but tell us about the perfume. Okay, okay.
oh my goodness. One of my students in the Love Academy is a perfumer, but she had
Oh.
really been focusing on perfuming brides and their dresses and the bridal suite.
Mhm.
And so we were on one of our Love Academy calls, and I said, have you ever done an actual perfume? She says, I haven't, but it's one of my dreams. And I said, I would love to explore that further with you. And so, I used to be a warm spirit. I think you recognize that name,
Mhm,
Warm
mhm.
Spirit, which I met through African American Women on Tour. Nadine Thompson was there at the booth herself.
Yes, yes.
Um, an amazing direct selling company that
It
had,
was.
therapeutic grade essential oils. And I was already into high quality body care and fragrance. So this notion of a perfume was very exciting, and it was a passion project. And so we took our time and took 9 months with her FedExing samples of Divine and me sitting back, turn this note up, turn that note down. Excuse me. And 9 months later, we had this exquisite perfume
Oh
on
my
par
god.
with Chanel, Michael Kors, Christian
Wow. Oh
perfumes
my
I
god.
already wore. And I said, I need it to be at that level. This is not just a
Mhm.
perfume with all this alcohol. This is a high quality luxury designer level. So now Debrena has a luxury perfume called Divine.
Oh
I
my god. Imma go get it.
want
Imma
to
go get it.
will you let me send you a bottle?
Yes, definitely.
I want to gift you a bottle. So all I
Oh
need
my
is your
god.
mailing address. You are going to love it. The kind of woman you are, your style, your class, your beauty, your verve, your zhuzh. Ooh, you're going to love it. So please allow me to gift it to you. I'm going to pull
Okay,
one out of
okay.
the
I
refrigerator.
love it.
But
I
we're
love
on production run 15, Pam. That's what I wanted to say. What? What?
it.
What?
Oh my god.
A
That
passion
is
project.
And she said it was a dream of mine. So when you are around, get all of Debrena's books, go to her conferences, stay connected. I'm going to just read you some of the emails that you will get from her will just bless your life. Okay. So I'm just thinking, okay, this is from you. I was telling you I save everything. So this email subject line is from 2020. It
Oh
says,
my.
I know, if you desire more clarity and focus right now, schedule da 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 da. Then there's reset virtual mini retreat, register. Over 200 sisters are converging on Saturday at the reset. There's another one that says, yes, I know, I want you to know more about having juicy relationships. Okay. So tell us about this juicy word that you use a lot, a whole new world experience, life as a juicy woman. So tell us about the juicy woman.
Well, it actually, we're going back to 2000 now.
Hmm.
26 years ago, I brought the language into the vernacular, just
Hmm.
like with self care. Myself, Susan O. Taylor, Jennifer Loudon, a Caucasian author, we were the ones that brought that into the culture for Black women. And so, juicy goes back over 2 decades. And there's one of the chapterettes in All the Joy You Can Stand was about being bold, bodacious, and succulent.
Yes.
BBS. A dried out woman is not succulent. A dehydrated woman is not succulent. Someone who's ripping and running and doing too much and not managing her energy well and not feeding and nourishing her feminine core is not juicy. So there is a whole altitude that we can elevate to live from. And I call that living and being a juicy woman. And I have a whole body of work around it because it isn't
Hmm.
behavior, it's a whole
Hmm.
belief system overhaul. Healing is required. New identity for operating from divine identity versus inherited social, cultural, or generational identity. Whole set of premises and practices and principles. It's a whole body of work that women have just been eating up since I started doing transformational work in 2002, 2003. So now it's called the Juicy Woman Lifestyle. So
I
instead
love
of the
it.
strong Black woman syndrome or the martyr, rescuer, savior, lone wolf syndromes that have characterized our existence as Black women for far too long, there's another way to live and be, and it's called the Juicy Woman Lifestyle. My vision, my vision is for in a few years this to be the new norm instead of
Mm,
the exception. And when we
yeah,
talk about overdoing, having a hard time saying no, all those things we will talk about in the past tense because a new
good.
paradigm will be in town and a new MO. So that is my vision for it to become our new norm.
I love that because I hear so many coaches now, because you're a master life coach, talking to women who are burnt out. They are at wits' end. They just aren't. live in the optimal, they're just overwhelmed. And one of the things that a quote from something from you from 2021, it says, one of your most precious natural resources is your energy. And you do a lot of virtual events as well. You'll have like guest speakers and things. So I want people to go to your website, sign up to get on your list. You had did something a while ago with Stephanie Rance and Simone Ross, and talk about protect your energy mojo. So I'm pulling out all the stuff,
You're way back in the archives. I love it.
Yeah, but it's so true. I mean, those are the things that people need right now. They need it right now. And so when you are in your purpose, you're in alignment with everything you do. It's like you're Benjamin Button. You're like aging backwards, right? It's like, oh my God, she's like, where did she start when she was 6? She did this 26 years ago. But when you're in your purpose, you flow. And so you said you have a vision, and you have other books, and other retreats. That thing in September, oh my goodness, I'm going to go on that milliondollarmentor.net. I'm going to tell friends and try and maybe make this a girls trip. There's one friend in particular whose birthday is around that time. Okay. And I'm going to see if I can get her to come to this. And one of the things too, she's always struggling. She's a big person in the media company, but she's always struggling with migraines. And I think this will be healing for her. It doesn't make sense if you're like a VP and you got all this power and at work, but then you got migraines all the time. It's like, no. So that may be the thing. So milliondollarmentor.net. I want people to go there, sign up to get on the wait list for your cohort, but definitely on the homepage in the next 24 hours or so, they'll find information about your retreat there as well in Arizona, which is a spiritual place anyway. It's just a real good place to
Excuse me, and it's not a retreat, girl. This is a breakthrough experience. There's a difference.
Okay. All right. So it's like a reset, not a retreat, but a reset or an advance. We're not retreating, we're advancing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Healing is how we're going to advance.
That is it. Good. Well, I just thank you so much. Is there anything else that I didn't mention that we want to get out of here? We kind of went a little bit longer, but it was juicy, so I couldn't stop. So I wanted to just keep going.
How you reached out to me and say, "Hey, Debrena, what do you think about being on my show?" Is because you also, because you're on my mailing list, you were getting my weekly Journey to Juicy installments. Yeah. And you responded to one of those. So in addition to the already yummy things that are in the Sacred Self-Caring Woman's Toolkit, when they go to my website and get their toolkit in exchange for sharing their email so we can stay connected, they will also start to get each week that very same installment that was how we reconnected. And every week, another installment. The one that you responded to was about having overly masculinized energy, which is one of the conditions a lot of Black women are functioning in right now. It's not working for our bodies or our love relationships. So that's one other little wonderful, generous gift that also comes with signing up on my mailing list. So thank you so much. I so appreciate your energy, the research that you do. I want to feel like, okay, does she do this for every guest? I want to feel like she does it for me, but I know you do this because that's the level of excellence you roll at. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much, Debrena Jackson Gandy. And I love saying your name, all 3 of them at the same time. It's just like you got to say them all. It's just like it just rhymes. It just has a rhythm. Well, thank you so much for just really giving people a lot of insight about how to get out there and get known. It really is about just being authentically you, following the heart, in the flow, being in alignment, and things will happen. They'll be happening. So thank you so much for joining us today. God bless you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com, where you help you shine like a superstar.